my passionate and loyal Scorpio friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. Scorpio, this week arrives with an undercurrent that hums just beneath your daily routines, a sensation you can almost taste but can't quite name. There's a heaviness in the chest, a quiet, persistent echo that asks, what remains unresolved? You might notice it in the way you pause before responding, or in the moments when your mind drifts unbidden to memories you thought were long put to rest. It's not always loud. Sometimes it's just the sense that something wants to surface, that the air between you and others carries a question left hanging. There's a tension inside, a kind of private reckoning, even if the outside world sees only your composure. The truth is you're carrying more than you let on. You may feel the urge to revisit old decisions, to weigh your role in what has unfolded, and to quietly ask yourself, what am I holding on to that no longer serves me? That silent, almost sacred discomfort is the backdrop to your week. Within this quiet storm, the energy of judgment makes itself known, not as a verdict, but as an awakening that stirs in the marrow of your being. It doesn't demand that you relive every mistake or parade your regrets, but it does bring a heightened awareness to the choices that have shaped you. You might notice flashes of insight, moments where a memory or a feeling surfaces and you see it, finally, from the vantage of who you are now. There's an unmistakable urge to shed something, an old story, a self-imposed limit, perhaps a piece of guilt that never fully belonged to you. It may feel as if you're standing at the threshold between what was and what could be, and that threshold isn't always comfortable. The emotional landscape is raw but not unkind. You're aware of the impulse to make amends internally or with others, or just as powerfully to forgive yourself for things left unsaid. This week, your inner state is shaped by a longing for release. It isn't about seeking grand closure. It's about finding the courage to let a layer of the past fall away. Your emotional posture is one of quiet vigilance, watching for the right moment to exhale what you've been holding in. Underneath it all, there's a growing recognition that your story is not finished, and that the next chapter doesn't require you to carry every burden forward. The unspoken tension is the negotiation between self-acceptance and self-judgment, between the urge to move on and the need to honor what you've learned. For now, you are suspended in the in-between, feeling the weight and the promise of change at once. This emotional reckoning doesn't exist in a vacuum. The sense of inner review of wanting to move beyond old patterns naturally gives rise to a crossroads in your external world. The desire for release is subtle, but it shapes your perceptions, coloring your interactions and your response to events as they unfold. You might find yourself more attentive to what feels authentic, less willing to pretend or gloss over what matters. The urge to speak honestly, even if only to yourself, presses gently but persistently. The need for clarity, for some kind of quiet truth, becomes the invisible hand guiding your steps. As the week progresses, the boundaries between your inner processing and the outside world blur. What you feel inside influences the choices you make, the way you show up, and the pressures you encounter. The path opens not as a straight line, but as a series of moments where you are asked to decide, small or large, how much of your truth you're willing to honor. It's not about drama. It's the slow, steady unfolding of a new way of being, born from the inner movement you are just beginning to trust. Out of this landscape emerges the presence of the High Priestess, a current of intuition and subtle knowing that colors every exchange, every pause. The world around you seems charged with a kind of quiet electricity, as if every conversation, every glance carries a layer of meaning beneath the surface. There is momentum here, but it's not the push of external events. It's the pull of your own awareness deepening. You notice the small signals, a word that lands heavily, a silence that speaks volumes, a pattern repeating itself in your relationships or work. These are not mere coincidences. They are threads in the fabric of your unfolding story, inviting you to notice what your rational mind might overlook. There may be friction between what you sense and what others expect. Pressures may arise to conform, to smooth things over, to keep the peace or meet obligations for the sake of harmony. But beneath those pressures is your own unshakable knowing, a quiet wisdom that says, "Wait, listen, trust what you feel." Sometimes this means withdrawing for a moment, letting the world pass by while you sit with your own truth. At other times, it means letting your intuition guide a choice, even when logic argues for something else. The high priestess energy isn't loud or forceful, yet it creates a subtle tension. The more you listen to your inner voice, the more apparent it becomes when the outer world is out of alignment. Momentum builds as you lean into this knowing, even if it means moving against the current. The frictions you feel are not obstacles, but invitations to deepen your relationship with yourself. Every moment of inner clarity brings the outer world into sharper focus. Pressures may mount from deadlines, expectations, or the needs of others, but beneath them all is your own quiet pulse, reminding you that you know more than you say, and that your path is shaped by what you are willing to honor within. The possibility that waits at the edge of this week is neither fixed nor guaranteed. It hinges on the choices you make as you meet these moments with awareness. The potential for change, for grounded progress, does not arise on its own. It depends on your willingness to stay present with what arises, to let your intuition and your insight inform your actions. The more consciously you engage with the questions and tensions of the moment, the more you create space for something genuine to emerge. It isn't about forcing an outcome, but about allowing what is most real in you to shape the way forward. Your growth, your movement toward what is possible, rests in your hands, unfolding only as you meet the week with honest attention. Here, the invitation of the Knight of Pentacles becomes clear. This is not the energy of dramatic leaps or sudden transformation. Instead, it's a steady, embodied movement toward what matters most to you. Growth in this context is measured in small, deliberate steps, a willingness to show up again and again for the work that is yours to do. It's the quiet persistence of tending to your life, even when the rewards are not immediate or obvious. You may feel the urge to ground your insights, to bring the wisdom of your intuition into tangible action. Perhaps it means following through on a promise to yourself, or bringing gentle order to an area of your life that has felt neglected. The Knight of Pentacles suggests that your potential this week is found in the ordinary, the daily rituals, the effort you invest without fanfare, the commitments you honor not because you must, but because they reflect what you truly value. Growth is less about arrival than about presence. You are invited to see the dignity in your steady efforts, to recognize that progress is often a series of quiet choices made over time. The promise is not one of perfection, but of honoring your process. In this way, your week becomes fertile ground for change, not through force, but through the simple act of being present, committed, and real with yourself. All these threads, your longing for release, your deepening intuition, your steady movement toward what matters, are woven together in the fabric of your week. Judgment's call to self-reflection makes space for the High Priestess's quiet knowing, which in turn inspires the grounded persistence of the Knight of Pentacles. You are both witness and participant in your own unfolding. The emotional tension you've carried is not a flaw, but a sign of growth in motion. The pressures and frictions you feel are not barriers, but signals that you are awake to your own experience. Each moment of honesty, each step taken in alignment with your truth, brings you closer to a sense of quiet resolution. By week's end, what may have begun as a silent heaviness reveals itself as the beginning of a new steadiness. There is comfort in knowing that you do not have to rush, that each breath, each choice is enough. The story of this week is not about erasing the past or achieving something spectacular. It's about finding peace where you are, trusting your process, and letting the small, steady steps carry you forward. You are learning to live with your whole self, shadow, intuition, and persistence together. In this, there is reassurance. You are exactly where you need to be. Actionable insights for Scorpio this week. This week's emotional current invites you to experiment gently with what feels true rather than what feels expected. Try pausing before answering, letting your real feelings have a moment to surface. Notice how your body responds when you slow down, even for a breath. Let yourself bring one simple act of order to something that matters to you. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I trust what I notice, even in silence. My feelings are real and worth honoring. Change can be slow, and I am patient. I am steady in who I am becoming. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.